Hopefully, I am live. Looks like I am. In theory, I am. Oh, that got loud. Let me turn that down before it blows out my eardrums. Excellent. Hey, something actually worked around here. There's a first time for everything. And so now, before people start chatting, better get the chat up here. Otherwise, I am going to become very, very confused. And Thomas is first in the house. How you doing, Thomas? Hope you are well. And Thomas is first in the house. And I hear myself because there. Let me turn that down. And let's pop out the chat. That'll make things a little easier as I try to poke around on the computer. And John DeMarco's here, Justin's here, CD's here, and Tom says, too late, we're chatting already. Indeed, you are way too fast for me as I'm just kind of testing the waters here. Haven't adjusted anything in the lights that I just got working. And I am indeed trying to get Matthew to answer me. I'm trying to get him to do something for me on the whatchamacallit for the live stream tomorrow, and still haven't heard from him because, you know, he likes to make me wait, being the jerk that he is. And yeah, that's just the way that he is. I know, good luck getting Matthew to respond. It says John and Thomas. Yeah, that's just the way it is. You know, I know he's got things he's got to do, but it's not like I need a whole lot of work from him. Anyway, so yeah, I'm getting ready because here's the thing. Tomorrow night's movie night is actually, I have a fun movie scheduled. It's cheesy, but it's a fun kind of cheesy. And because it's been a rough week for me, as many of you already know. And so I just don't want to have to endure a really rough movie tomorrow. And so I thought we'd just have some fun. But Matthew, you know, I do have waiting. Well, actually, no, it's on the other computer. Dang. I was thinking, you know, I do have Flipper downloaded and ready to go. I'll have to re-download it, though. Because I did have Flipper all ready to go. And now I'm going to have to re-download Flipper. But I will re-download Flipper. Sister says, live long and prosper. Stanley says, raccoons have invaded my attic. Oh, man. I've never had raccoons in the attic, but I understand that can be a major, major pain. Let's see. Thomas says, I've always responded to a message unless I'm sleeping. You are actually, Thomas, I gotta say, very good about that. And I truly appreciate it because I know I am sometimes good about it. I usually respond to messages if I'm at my computer. If I'm not at my computer, it's hit or miss, because like if I'm at the doctor's office or something, which is usually, if I'm not home, I'll tell you, I'm usually only one of three places. I'm either in this chair, in bed, or in the car, you know, meaning that, you know, well, I should say 4 places. So let me correct myself. In this chair, in bed, in the car, in transit, or at a medical facility. That seems to be my life lately. What sucks is there used to be a 5th place on the list, which would be at church, but I have not attended church in well over a month, which has got me, you know, I really don't like that, but fortunately our church live streams its services, and so I've been watching them online, but it's not the same thing. I wish that it, you know, I didn't have to just watch it on a live stream, but that's just the way it is. You know, so yeah. I've been thinking about, if it wasn't for the fact, so that I have the iPad right here, obviously. This is only temporary until I get my computer back from Asurion, assuming they actually fix it this time. If this was going to be a permanent fixture, I was thinking of taking my little badgie that I made and putting him right here. I think that would be really cool. Because, but I'd have to like glue him there because he won't stay there on his own. But yeah, just a thought. I keep thinking, man, that's right there in the camera view, and I keep thinking I should move it out of the camera view, and then I keep thinking, oh, I could put Badgie there, but yeah, sorry, just my brain going in random directions. Thomas says, I already read that. Let's see. It's better than birds living in above your AC. Well, it depends on what the raccoons are doing, I suppose. Raccoons don't chirp. Maybe not, but raccoons can do a lot more damage if they, depending on what they're doing. Thomas says, I have overtime tomorrow night, so I'll miss the beginning. Oh, I'm sorry, man. I am sorry, because there is going to be a very special movie preview that you are going to definitely not, it's a doozy. I will tell you, it is a real doozy. I may have to show it in the future. I may show it in a future edition because it is a movie preview that you will not see anywhere else. I guarantee you've never seen it before. And I hate to even reveal the title of the movie because it's such a classic, and it will bring nightmares. It'll break your soul. So, but that does suck. And let's see. Stanley says, no, it does sound like they're having a wrestling match. That does suck. Where did you get your new Minecraft avatar? It does look like you. Honestly, when I had to, and this is a stupid thing. So you would think, because I had to, when I set up Windows again, it did recognize me. Like it's funny because my desktop looks like my desktop did before. It has the Wrangler class starship there, and I didn't put that picture there. Microsoft put it there because it's part of my Microsoft account. So it definitely has the same Microsoft account, but it doesn't think I own Minecraft. So I had to repurchase Minecraft. So I purchased, instead of paying the $26.99 for Minecraft, I spent the extra $3 and splurged for the $29.99 Minecraft that comes with a couple of extras, including some skin stuff, and it included a long goatee, and that's really what made the difference and made it so that he looks a lot like me. Which honestly, that was it was spending a lot for me. That's like all of my disposable income for right now. But since I'm going to be streaming a lot of Minecraft, and because it's really the only game I can consistently play, then that's my justification for it. Malfi says hi. CD says, my uncle works as a pest controller. Best bait for squirrels is chocolate, and badgers love monkey nuts. I don't know what you mean by monkey nuts. That sounds scary. And Sister says, that's a good badgie. Thank you. I'm very proud of it, actually. I made this in Blender, and then 3D printed it, and then just painted it gold. My thought, I wanted to get into 3D printing a lot, and I still do, and it's honestly the only reason I'm not is just it sounds stupid because it's not like it's physically like, oh, lifting heavy weights and stuff. But I have very little fine motor skills. And so the little things like cleaning the detail stuff off of these and stuff is almost impossible for me now. And I feel horrible because I want to be able to make stuff like this. And like, give it away to patron supporters and sell it and stuff. I don't know. I'm thinking if I could find a way to like do a rough print that I could send to someone who could then turn around and do the finish work, maybe, but then I would have to find someone that would be willing to do that. You know, and I don't know if there's anybody out there that would be willing to partner with me to do that, because it's not like I can afford to pay them anything, at least not unless the channel takes off. So I don't know what to do. I mean, because like I would love to make stuff like this, you know, by the truckloads, but I can do the Blender side of it for now. And I can, you know, and I still have the printers. I don't know if they're still operable. I may have to try to do some maintenance on them, but yeah. It sucks. Oh man, it sucks. I really hate what's become of me here, physically. Anyway, sorry, I'm trying not to be a Debbie Downer, so to speak, and I even hate that expression, but yeah. And my glasses are all messy, so I'm getting one of my wonderful glasses wipes, which is just rubbing alcohol on a whole thing. So Jordan says, hey, just saw your live. Yes, sir, I am. Thomas says, well, starting Sunday, as long as Virginia is open, I won't be around all the time until next Sunday. Yeah, Saturday. Yeah, you mentioned that. That does, I will miss you, Thomas, but I hope you have a good time, my friend. Kronos is in the house. Haven't seen you in a while. How's the 3D printing working out? Well, I kind of already answered that. Not so great, mainly because of my physical limitations right now. Thomas says, maybe I should start packing tomorrow. Yeah, I would. Assuming, you know, Virginia is open. Thomas says, hi to Kronos. John DeMarco says, hope you have a good trip. Yeah, we all wish you well there, Thomas. You deserve an excellent time there. CD says, my uncle went into an attic once, found a wasp nest half the size of a car, had to call in a team for fumigation and proper disposal. Yeah, wasp nests are no joke, man. Kronos says, sorry that you're not able to do things. Yeah, it sucks. I'm hoping, and the other side of that is, who knows, you know, we're going to start the treatment coming up very, very soon. The injector has been ordered. I should be receiving that via FedEx in the next few days. And then I get to go through a little class on how to use it properly. Don't know how that's going to go. And I see, Mercer, I see that you super chat. I want to give it a minute to see if Streamlabs picks it up, because the Streamlabs alert box is there. I just want to make sure if it's working or not. Let me go to the Streamlabs page and see if it picks it up, because I never trust. There it is. I hear it. All right.
Dead or alive, you're coming with me.
Good. I always get nervous because sometimes there was a while where it wasn't working. So excellent. Glad to see that that is actually working. I'm impressed. Couple of times in a row. And now I closed that window by mistake. All right. And let's go back to, there we go, so I can see the chat. Anyway, so, and actually I was about to bring up another, where is it? Copaxone is the drug that they're going to be giving me, well, not giving, it's $6,000 a month for this stuff. At least that's what they're billing the insurance company. I don't know how much, if any, that I'm going to end up paying. So Copaxone is the drug that I'll be taking, at least initially, to try and treat DMS or CIS or PMS or whatever. And we'll see what happens. And so if that does actually work, maybe I'll be able to get back into the 3D printing. I hope so. I would like to, because I got, a couple of 3D printers sitting around here collecting dust, and driving me batty. Driving me freaking batty. All right. Jordan says, couldn't the kids help? Well, here's the problem. Joshua, look, I love my son to death, and he is strong as an ox, but he's also autistic and doesn't follow directions well. And dealing with some of the harsh chemicals and stuff involved with the 3D printers and stuff, I wouldn't want to take a chance of him actually seriously hurting himself. So it wouldn't be a good idea. Kronos says, cheers. I'm not sure why. Thomas says, Debbie Trekker. Debbie does salty Trekker. Admiral Brocoat says, good evening. How you feeling? I'm here. That's, I'm not dead. So that's a positive. Multi-Gunman says, how's it going? I'm hanging in there. Kronos says, may I call you ATST? You can call me ATST, but just remember to put at Salty Trekker in the comments, so I'll see it highlighted, because at Anti-Trekker will not highlight.
Mercer create $1. I miss when sci-fi used to be used for satire. Like RoboCop, Starship Troopers, and Running Man. Sharp wit and humor.
Well, I'll tell you this, Mercer, because first... Oh, and by the way, Mercer, I said it on Birdstream, but I didn't say it here on mine as of yet, but I will say it right now. Thank you to you and Super Blubberpuss. Let me try to move it a little bit so you can see it. I do indeed have the speed editor here. I used it to get the movie night with Matthew edited today. It does, I know it's called the speed editor, and I'm sure for someone who is a much more capable person than me, it will speed up editing. For me, it just makes it so that I can do it. So thank you. It does indeed make it a little bit easier for me to be able to do it. Doesn't make me a speed demon at it, but it does make it possible for me to edit where I was beginning to lose that ability. But keep in mind, satire doesn't just mean humor. Satire also includes just social commentary. We refer to, when we think of satire, that is what social commentary is. And unfortunately, Star Trek Discovery thinks it's social commentary, when in fact it's more propaganda. And propaganda is a very different beast, and unfortunately, it's not even very effective propaganda. But thank you so much. Eastlian says, hello, how you doing, my friend? Admiral Saval says, oh, yay, I get my impacted wisdom teeth removed next Tuesday. That sucks. I have a lot of dental work I need done, but honestly, the MS takes priority. It's going to be a long time before I can get around to any serious dental work. Mercer says, hope you are doing well. Well, I'm doing the best I can, my friend. At this point, it's just a matter of, living it one day at a time. The biggest challenge to me today has been, I have been fighting with the insurance, not my health insurance company, but my disability insurance, because they were telling me I was going to have to return to work day after tomorrow. And my doctor just diagnosed me day before yesterday. And so I'm like, look, I'm clearly not competent to work right now. I can hold a conversation barely. Like even now I'm struggling just to maintain the topic of conversation on a nerd conversation, just talking about fun stuff. So you really think, and I certainly can't talk and type at the same time. I can't, I can barely do things that I enjoy doing. I certainly can't, do the kinds of things I'm expected to do at work. And so you can't expect me to return. I've been off work for a couple of months here, and you can't expect me to return 48 hours after I get a diagnosis of this. And I had to. I've been sending messages. I had to contact two different people in the HR department at my work, and then finally, I finally get someone at the disability insurance that reached back out to me and said, "Okay, yes, I see that we need to extend this. Let me get this to the clinical people so that we can get it extended. So hopefully, I won't have to work day after tomorrow." But I'm still not 100% sure on that. I mean, I may be having to work day after tomorrow and then get fired in a couple of days because I can't do my job. And so Admiral Saval says, "So Admiral Saval will not be streaming this month." I'm sorry, buddy. How's the back and knee? Sore. But my larger concern, I mean, while the back pain and the knee is the least of my concerns. While it hurts when I walk and stuff like that, that's honestly not the biggest, that doesn't stop me from being able to work. The back pain is an annoyance while I work, but honestly, the thing that gets me while I'm trying to work is my lack of fine motor coordination. So being able to type in particular, it makes it very difficult for me. And I'm pretty articulate. I'm not going to lie. I know what my skill sets are. I'm a very good speaker. But I can tell that, like, to me, like, if you compare me right now, if you listen to me talking right now and you compare it to me talking on a live stream from a year ago, it sounds like I've been drinking right now. This is what I sound like after about 4 shots of whiskey. This is not me stone cold sober. I can tell I'm slurring my speech a little bit, and it's driving me crazy. I'm stumbling over my words more than I should be, and I'm losing my focus a lot more than I should be. So it's difficult for me to maintain any kind of concentration. I can't talk and do anything at the same time, and so that's what's going to affect me at work. The pain doesn't help. That does also add to the distraction factor. Do you have bats in your belfry? Not that I'm aware of. Donnie's in the house. Hope everything is well. Thank you, Donnie. Kronos says, "Hey, ATST. How you doing, Kronos?" You already said that, though. Jordan says, are you still doing movie night tomorrow night at what time? Got cousins for the Fight Cancer event tomorrow. I am doing the movie night tomorrow. It will be at 9:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, which is our regular movie night time. So, yes. Mercer says, "You really deserve it. Stay healthy." Thank you, my friend. Kronos says, "Thank you, by the way, for maintaining my wrench status." You're welcome, Kronos. Thank you for being a friend. I know you've been away for a while, but don't even sweat it. We don't take roll around here. Mercer says, "That's why I love the Orville. It can be all those things." It can be. But we'll see. Hopefully the Orville lasts. Indy says, "Hello, Salty Trucker in chat. Hey, Indy, hope you're doing well." Donnie says, that's to Kronos. Sorry, losing my mind. Jordan says, "I'm in an argument with someone because they didn't get the joke of calling a Scot a Scotchman instead of a Scotsman." Well, you just got to explain to them. Are they Scottish, first of all? Are they of Scottish descent? Now, I am of Scottish descent. Now, I can prove that I'm of Scottish descent, and it's kind of difficult for me to prove it. I kind of got to, let me see if I can prove it to, it's going to be difficult. Let me whip out my phone here and see if I can take a picture of the necessary part of my body. It's gonna, I don't know if did it snap the picture? Didn't quite get it. Let me see. It's so big. It's very difficult, to get. and you Scots people, you know, there are certain parts of the body on a Scottish person can be huge compared to other people. Let's see, did it get that time? Oh man, still could not get the whole thing. Man, it's just difficult. Let me try one more time. If I can't get it, I can't get it, but I'm trying to get it for you guys. And let's see, maybe we turn the flash on, we can get it for you. Let's turn the camera over this way. Kind of, what we really need is like a wide angle lens. That's what all these cameras need. See, did I get it that time? Well, dang it. Come on, why won't the flash come on? Let's see, there's got to be a way to force the flash to come on. Let's see. Well, sorry, I couldn't get it for you. But I have a tattoo on the back of my leg of the Scotsman from Samurai Jack. I was trying to get a picture of it. Sorry. That was stupid. Where was I? Anyway, you just have to explain that, hey, you know what? We all know that everybody from Scotland is a drunk. It's okay. Anyway, Donnie says, praying for you and yours. Stay strong. Thank you, my friend. And by the way, I do forgive me. This will probably not be a particularly long live stream because when Mrs. Antitricker gets home, I'll be wrapping it up at that point, which will, depending on, it's funny because basically Joshua goes to church on Thursday nights with the college age people. And when the college age kids, and so sometimes they get home like around 9:30, sometimes a little before, sometimes a little late. So whenever they get home, they get home. Donnie says, praying for, did I already read that? I don't remember. But anyway, either way, thank you, Donnie, for, I think I did read that. I am confused. Malfi says, thinking of adding Buckaroo Banzai to movie suggestions, or would that movie be too good? No, that's actually a good one to add to the list. I might have it somewhere lying around. But remember, I have to either I have to already own it, or it has to be something I can get a legit copy of. Because I don't do piracy. I don't mind, like, I'll download a copy of it if I have a copy of it. Like, I don't mind downloading a copy of a movie that I own. I have no qualms about that. But I will not download a movie that I do not own. You sound like the night with drunk shirtless Foley. Bradley says, I have epileptic seizures most every day, so I know how you feel. Yeah, and and I'm not trying to like compare my condition to other people's conditions, so I know that they're, I am so thankful that I'm not suffering from epilepsy or something like that. I don't even want to think about that. Mrs. Antichecker has what's called non-specific seizure disorder, which is kind of, she has seizures, but she's not epileptic, which is kind of stupid, but that's just what it is. That's just what it is. Anyway, I don't think I sound quite like that night when I was with shirtless Foley. I don't know. That was a long time ago. That was back like the last time I saw season 1 or 2 of Star Trek: The Next Generation. Oh, hey, Captain Foley, how you doing, buddy? I see he's in the chat. Probably bad talking me about how I never watched Star Trek: The Next Generation. Jerk. And Captain Foley retracted his message. I wonder what he said. probably something mean about me. After he says how negative I am, he was just talking smack about me and lore on his live stream. I'm telling you, he's gonna start a serious nerd war here. And Donnie says you're welcome. I appreciate it, buddy. Indy Tiger says, I don't know ancestry. People ask me my ancestry, so I say, I don't know. Hey, do one of those weird tests where you spit in a thing and they test you. I mean, I know mine pretty well, because my family is easily traceable as far as on both sides of my family. My mom's family is as Irish as families get. My dad's family is Scotch Irish, so my family is pretty easy to trace. But I understand a lot of families, they don't, if you don't know, hey, that's what those 23andMe type things, that's what they're for. Bird says, I can get you any medication you need, cheap from Kuroga, $1 a pound. Yeah, no thank you. And then Captain Foley says that was a long time ago. A couple of days ago, not a long time ago. And that was Samuel that said that, not me. Was it? Was it really? I might have to go back and actually watch the live stream from the other day just to verify that, because Lore very specifically said it was you. But, granted, we're talking about Lore here. I do understand that he could have been mistaken. I will grant you that much. So, I'm not saying it's not possible, but, I'm also just saying that, we might have to, we might have to have a serious war here. Let's see. And let's see, why is my computer being, because this computer is this computer. This is like the C-list computer here. Oh crap, it's been forever. You can please call me a jerk, or better yet, a dick. That would be sweet. All right, Kronos, you are a dick jerk. Ooh, the double whammy. Let's see. What? Okay, this is like being weird. Great. I don't even know what that is now. Hold on, now my computer's being really weird. Bear with me. I don't know what to do now. Let's see. Confirmed. Salty Trekker and Trek Yards are in a nerd war. Well, not yet. I'm just saying it's a possibility. And let's see. All right. That was good. That was very good. I will say that was good. Whew. I'm going to save that for future reference. All right. But you have to. See, here's the thing, Captain Foley, is that even if it was Samuel, is Samuel not half of Trek Yards? That you kind of run into that brick wall there. It's still Trek Yards. And so, I'm just saying. And Trek Yards is still your brand, right? Isn't Trek Yards your brand? I mean, I thought it was. I thought you owned it, right? So, kind of running into a problem here, buddy. Indy Tiger says, I have a seizure disorder also. Went through the weeks of testing to figure out the cause, so I know what you've been going through. Yeah, with the missus, I mean, she takes medication for it, which mostly keeps the seizures under control, which is good. Her seizures are actually pretty rare, and that is a very good thing. The downside, though, is that the medication makes her a walking zombie most of the time. So, she that makes it extremely difficult for her to function. She spends an inordinate amount of time in bed because she just has zero energy. And yeah, and so she's got, now if I've got this MS, if we don't find a drug therapy that works for me, she's got to take care of me, but she can barely get out of bed. So what are we supposed to do? We're just going to be like crawling around the house trying to, that's not going to work. So yeah, hopefully we can get things going here. And yeah, for me, it's funny with MS. There are different types of MS. And the more typical forms of MS is that it is kind of like a lot of seizure conditions, except slower. You have an attack of MS where it may last for days or even weeks, where you have intense symptoms that are completely debilitating, and then they relax, if you will. And then during that period of time may last for weeks or even months. And the idea of the medications is to space out the relax period as much as possible. Kind of like with seizure conditions, the idea of the medications is to space out the seizures as much as possible. But then there's the dreaded progressive MS or PMS. Insert snickering and joking here because that's what they think I have. And the problem with PMS is that, as the progressive part of the name implies, there's no attack and release. It just gradually gets worse. It never gets super, super intense and then relaxes. It just slowly gets worse and worse and worse until the day you die. And so that's, so it's more insidious in that it doesn't just suddenly hit you. It kind of sneaks up on you. And that's part of the reason that for years I've been seeing regular doctors about stuff and begging them to try and figure out what's wrong with me. And they've kind of looked at it and, I don't know, maybe it's arthritis, maybe it's this, maybe it's that, maybe it's this. And they can't figure out what the heck is wrong with me. And then they finally figure out that when, and it's lucky me, I get a ruptured eardrum. And when they happen to do a MRI of my head for the eardrum, they happen to see the brain lesions. And they're like, brain lesions? Maybe you should talk to a neurologist. And here we are. So Chrono says, is there any good news? Yes, in a way. The good news of all this is that with now that I actually have a diagnosis, now that it's actually official, we can start actually doing treatments. And that's why they're sending me the injector, and I'm going to, it sounds horrible, but doing 3 injections a week does not sound pleasant. But if it actually works, then that can make a huge difference. And that could get me back to work. That could make me feel better. Maybe I can start producing videos. Of course, it would help if Asurion can actually fix my freaking computer and get it back to me. But, get things back on track. That's what I'm hoping for. And, then basically hopefully get life back to somewhat like normal. The worst case scenario is that this stretches beyond the next 2 months and I go into long-term disability. That's what we don't want. But that's basically the doomsday scenario, and we'll deal with that if we have to. But that's what we don't want to happen, because if it stretches beyond 2 months, then I'm no longer employed, and at that point, we need to worry about what's going to happen. Medicine from Kurogi, might as well drink a cup of bleach mixed with Drano. It will have the same effect. I believe you. MLP says, hey, AT. Everybody's going to call me AT until I am just gone, I think. Indy says, I went through a zombie phase for a year with my first medication. It took me that long to convince my neurologist to switch my meds. A week later, after the new meds, I was fine. Yeah. Some of those meds are definitely no joke. But yeah, for sure. Chronos says, I'm going to die. No. Not sure why he said that, Chronos. I hope you're not going to die, at least no time soon. MLP says PMS stands for putting up with men's stupidity. Thomas says PMS should now mean putting up with Matthew's stupidity. I will definitely agree to that. I'm still waiting to hear back from Matthew. It is now 8:35 p.m. and he still hasn't answered me. I just needed to record something for me that would be easy for him. Let's see. Yeah, it's not a tough thing for him to record or anything. Let's see. Let's take a look. Doing a live stream now. Bad. Mouthing you for not answering. Oops. And I hate when autocorrect puts the wrong word in there. There we go. There you go. I just texted Matthew saying, doing a live stream now, bad mouthing you for not answering. See if that gets him to wake up. All right. Let's see. Colonel says, he'll always be anti-trucker to me. That's just the way it works. I understand that. I do. But, I agree with what, and even though he seems to have vanished into the ether, I agree with what Captain Foley and others have said, is that anti-trucker is too negative a name. Salty trucker fits me a little better because I can get a little salty. Plus, I do like, as much as I make fun of Matthew, I do like the old salt thing, and then I'm an old school guy. I like talking about the way things were, and that's kind of, that's what we're going to do around here. Multi-Gunman says, Matthew's Krogan, therefore he's never prompt. That's why he's taking so long to record that audio. Yeah, but I need it for tomorrow night's show. It's not like I can just wait until the last minute. And I'm doing this on a computer that does not have the editing and rendering capabilities of my regular computers, not even my, backup computer. So, yeah. And Twilight Death 34-7761, the following is my tag for Star Trek Online. Well, I can't even play Star Trek Online on this machine. Brian says, just paid $60 to fill up the minivan. These gas prices are raising our taxes. Thanks, President Biden. Well, the gas prices are not a direct result of President Biden. Just to be fair. The President of the United States does not tell OPEC what to set oil prices at. Malfi says, so another Matthews snub. That is true. And Mercer throws in another buck. Thank you, my friend.
Mercer create $1. Seth tweeted a new pic of the Union emblem. There is a new star prominent in the emblem, implying a new member. My guess is the Krill becomes a part of the Union as the Chaktal and a Kalon against them.
That could be, but I wouldn't read too deeply into it, and I do know people are gonna do that, and that's why Seth will do stuff like that. Just like, but I try not to get too deep into that because look at how much LDG went crazy after Mephisto was not a part of WandaVision. Sorry, I need to turn the AC on for a little bit. He poor LD, he just lost it. Man, the sinuses thing. The surgery helped, but there's still healing inside there. So it's like every now and then this stuff is going on. Let's see. Talking about English muffins. I like English muffins. MLP says Biden is Mr. Potato Head. Whatever. We're not here to insult the President of the United States, past or present. Because you can say mean things about Biden, you can say mean things about Trump. But both of them have their strengths, both of them have their weaknesses. And quite frankly, I think that both of them deserve the same level of respect from the people. And both of them held the same prestigious office. Period. Excuse me. And CD says all politicians need to be insulted. Disclaimer, I used to work for the UK government. Well, here's the problem. I don't believe that we need to put our faith in politicians. And I think too many people do that. Like, people think that they truly believe that they have to put their faith in, like, the party of the elephant or the party of the ass. And I think that's a big mistake. I don't think that you're going to be saved by the elephant or the ass. And I think those two parties work together more than separately. And I think people are just too, they're so blinded by their ideology. They're blinded by their Republican or Democrat ideology in America. I can't speak for United Kingdom politics, but in the United States, the people in that are ideologues are so blinded by their love of political party that they cannot see that the two parties are in fact working together, that their goal is to keep the other parties out of business, that they don't give a crap about the various issues. They care about making sure that the other parties stay out of business. That's all they care about. Ooh, I got a message from Amy. Uh-oh. Let's see. Oh, no. Oh. Okay. You... Wow.
Hi diddly ho, hi diddly ho, hi diddly ho, hi diddly ho,
Oh, man.
Mercer $1. Pick one thing from each that you don't like from Discovery, Picard and Lower Decks. In other words, the aspect of each series that keeps them from being good at a foundational level.
All right, so hold on, just all right. Let me get back to because I'm sorry. The message that Matthew sent me, he got me good. He got me good. All right. And Carlos says, the super chat. Well, the computer that I had died, and then my backup computer died. So yeah, I have some of the super chat files, but it's going to be a while before I can recover them. Now, let me bring up the dashboard so I can see what it was that Mercer said a moment ago. That was, pick one thing from each that you don't like from Discovery, Picard, and Lower Decks. In other words, one aspect of each series that keeps them from being good at a foundational level. Well, that's easy. I mean, it's the same thing. Well, actually, with Lower Decks, it's a little different. But with Discovery and Picard, it's very, very simple. Nihilism. Both of those shows have a core of being nihilistic in nature, and that is their biggest single flaw. The Star Trek at its core has always been an optimistic series. And and that is the absolute core of Trek. As far as Lower Decks, I honestly enjoy Lower Decks, but I think that Lower Decks could take itself a little more seriously. It doesn't have to take itself a lot more seriously, but a little more seriously. If the entire series of Lower Decks was more like the last episode of Lower Decks, the series would be greatly elevated. So I think that with Lower Decks, it's just take itself just a smidge more seriously, make the series based on that last episode. With the other two shows, get rid of nihilism, make Trek optimistic. Now, granted, there are a million things that I would probably change about both series. We can talk about doing serialized versus episodic. We can talk about the fact that Picard was sidelined in his own show. We can talk about the fact that Michael Burnham was a poorly designed character, or the fact that you killed off Georgiou in the second episode, or that you ruined the character of Lorca, and a million of other things that we can talk about in these other shows. But the core problem in both of those shows is nihilism, and that comes from the writers' room. That comes from the attitude in the writers' room, and it's clear that Mike McMahon, the man behind Lower Decks, understands Trek. That he understands the attitude of Trek, and that's why Lower Decks doesn't have that nihilistic feeling to it. And it's also clear that Alex Kurtzman doesn't. And that's why Alex Kurtzman, who has been involved in all of Trek since Star Trek 2009, except for Lower Decks, even though his name is on the executive producer level, he's really had nothing to do with the actual day-to-day production of Lower Decks. It shows. It absolutely shows that he's not directly involved in the production, because that is the only Trek since 2009 that doesn't feel somewhat nihilistic. MLP wants to know what happened. Not sure what you mean because I'm so far behind. Let me try to get caught up. Still waiting for good news. Not sure what you mean. Romulans killed your PCs. Well, that's what I can't comment on that without spoilers, depending on what we can do. Sister says McMahon is Trek's Filoni. He could be, honestly. I think that McMahon should be promoted. And I'm not saying fire Kurtzman. I really think that Kurtzman is the kind of guy that should be in the position of Gene Roddenberry. Because a lot of people who are like, what? Gene Roddenberry? But he's so great. No, Gene Roddenberry was kicked upstairs. Kurtzman, I don't care if Kurtzman is the guy in charge of Secret Hideout and Secret Hideout is producing Trek. Fine. That's perfectly fine. But you know what? Don't let him be the creative force behind Trek. You just put him in the in the Roddenberry role, where he's just the guy that's name is on the created by, and then you put someone like McMahon as the actual creative producer. You put him in the role that Gene Coon was in for the original series, and so you make him the actual person who is running the franchise. Problem is that McMahon is busy. I don't know that McMahon has what it takes to actually run a franchise as opposed to running a show. But we need that type of a role. We need someone who can do that. I don't know that person. I don't know that Viacom is even interested in doing that. I don't, because, I don't know how much money the Trek franchise is making them right now. They may be perfectly happy with the returns they're getting on their investment with Trek. Maybe they just don't care because they're more concerned about what they're getting from other things that Secret Hideout is producing. Don't know, don't care. But I think that what we need is someone like that in the Trekverse, not someone like Alex Kurtzman calling those shots. Alex says, I suppose the point of getting rid of nihilism would be as awkward for the writers as it was for Maurice Hurley to get used to the Roddenberry box. Well, once Roddenberry, think about this, the only time that Gene Roddenberry was actually the showrunner of Trek was the first season of TNG. When Roddenberry got kicked upstairs for season 3 of TNG, all of a sudden TNG became a great show. Did you see the Easter eggs in the Lower Decks clip? I don't know that I saw them all, but I love the Doomsday Machine one. That was awesome. I have a theory. Lower Decks is actually a spin-off series of the Orville. No, but I like it. If it didn't look like Rick and Morty clone, I give it more of a chance. Well, it's made by, Mike McMahon came over from Rick and Morty, didn't he? I think it was, that's the thing. It's made in the style of Rick and Morty because it's made by people that came over from Rick and Morty. That's why it's that style. It's made by those people. I understand that you may not like that style, but to me, the reason I enjoy it is not because of the animation style. That is a drawback to it. I'm not a big fan of the style, but it's the writing that brings me into it. The fact that they're poking the tropes that they and this is what gets me. Every time they start poking fun at stuff, it's stuff that's real. It's not stuff that they're just saying it because it's a Trek name. They're not just saying, oh, SETI Alpha 5 because SETI Alpha 5 is a name that the Trek fans will recognize. Right? It's stuff that Trek fans, it's deep cut Trek stuff. Right? So it's stuff that we get. Right? It's stuff like seeing a Vendorian. Right? And so a Vendorian, that's something that you would not expect to see. It's stuff like, having the, oh gosh, there's just there's so much in there. But okay, I love the fact that Ransom, who wants to be a Kirk-like character, rips his shirt off, clasps his hands together and does a Kirk-style double punch, right? Stuff like that. It's great. It is absolutely great. And so it's a fun show. They make fun of Trek tropes and they do it well. I would like the animation style to be better, but it's not. I would like it to look like Masters of the Universe, but it doesn't. And guess what? Masters of the Universe is beautiful, and it's crap. So I'd rather have a show that looks like crap, but is well written, than a show that looks beautiful and is crap. See what I'm saying? Alex says, Dear Andy, dear Salty Trekker, if you were a gay man in the Trekverse, who would you least want as a husband. Neelix. Sister says, totally agree with you on all points. Thomas says, Carl was on the shelf at the bar also. Oh, I did not see Carl on the shelf. Super Blubberpost says, did you know who Ib Melcher was? He claimed to be Lost in Space and Star Trek were his ideas, but they were stolen by Irwin Allen and Roddenberry. I have not heard that. But as I don't know about, I don't know if that's true. However, I will tell you this. Talk to Alan Dean Foster. If you don't know who Alan Dean Foster is, then you should turn in your nerd card. He's one of the greatest writers who's still alive today. And I actually had the pleasure of actually talking to the man over on PJ Orville Nation's channel. And he's a pleasant gentleman to talk to. But one thing I really liked about talking to, because he wrote the novelizations of the entire animated series. And thank you so much, Alex.
Hollywood has gotten so used to nihilism one must search beyond the typical pro screenwriters. Perhaps collaborate with the fan films.
I got a thought on that, Alex. Give me a couple of minutes, and I will get to that. And I know I'm falling behind, but give me a second, and I'll get to the writing thing. So, because I want to touch on this real quick. So, Alan Dean Foster did the novelization of the entire animated series. It was a series of books called the Star Trek Logs. He also he wrote the story that became Star Trek: The Motion Picture. And he's done a lot of great writing. And when I was talking to him about his thoughts about his work on Star Trek, he said, one thing I learned is that Gene Roddenberry is truly great at one thing and one thing only, and that is taking credit for other people's work. That's all I'm going to say about Ib Melcher, however you say his name. I don't know any of the details of his case, but it wouldn't surprise me. That's all I'm saying. So, Alex, thank you so much for the $5. So, as far as Hollywood has gotten used to nihilism, that is true to a point, but not entirely. Look at the single most successful franchise in Hollywood today. The MCU is also one of the most positive and optimistic franchises today. And so nihilism is not completely taken over Hollywood. It's just that it's increasingly, Hollywood seems to think that that's what people want. Yet, the number one stuff is not nihilistic. The absolute best of the best is not nihilistic. So why is Hollywood being so stupid? Because reasons? I don't know. Quantum? I don't know.
Sorry, let's do this right. Support fellow creators, like, share and subscribe. Hello, sir. I missed something. When did you change name? Been on road.
Hey, how you doing, Ian? I changed my name just a couple of weeks ago, so it wasn't like this thing way back. And I changed it because, first of all, there were rumors that people were making fun of me, calling me that anyway over on the Friday Night Tights show. And number two, I think it fits me better. And number three, quite frankly, I agree with some of the criticisms that I've gotten from people like Trek Yards and others that have said, you know what, you really shouldn't have your name be anti-Trekker because people think you don't like Star Trek, and it might help your channel grow if you actually had your name be something that didn't associate with being opposed to Trek. So that's the long and short of it. But thank you so much, Ian. I do appreciate it, and I hope you are well, my friend, and keep on trucking, buddy. And so anyway, so I do think that the positive writing is there, and I think it's possible. But here's what the deal is specifically with Trek, is that Star Trek in the past was written by sci-fi writers, not TV writers.
And you are still a friend to me, bro.
Absolutely, man. Ian, we are definitely still friends. That never changed. So I never declared war with you, only with Trek yards. So, and that's only kidding. So, but and so I do think though that we need to, as far as the writing situation, I think that the fans. I don't think that fan films is really the answer because. Okay, here's the flip side of that. Fan films. I'm sorry. Look, no disrespect intended. Fan films are crap. And a lot of them have some good ideas, but they're crap. I watched recently a fan film that was well produced for a fan film. I can't remember what the name of it was. I'm truly sorry. But the idea was actually an interesting idea. So conceptually, I thought, oh, okay, I like where they're going with this. And then it completely fell apart. And the idea was that this guy was given a mission to assemble a small away team to go to the USS Excalibur, the ship that was completely destroyed by the Enterprise in the Ultimate Computer, and basically recover that ship after the M5 incident. And so they basically had to go there, recover the ship, bring it back. And so it was an interesting idea, and then it was just stupid. And everything about it was stupid. And every character was stupid because it was like everybody, every character was a fanfic character. Oh, I'm just the best at this. Oh, and I am the best at this. And I am just awesome at this. And it's like, it's just really, fan writers are fan writers, and there's a reason they're not professional writers. But where Hollywood needs to do is go back to, or well, not Hollywood, but what Star Trek needs to do is go back to what Star Trek did that made it great in the first place. Go to the writers of novels and say, hey, how would you like to do a story treatment for a season of Discovery? Since they want to do serialized storytelling, you find someone who's written a good series of novels. Like, let's say, you go to, I don't know. I don't know any good sci-fi novels that are contemporary right now, but you find, other than The Expanse, but I don't want it to be that kind of a novel. But you find someone that writes a good sci-fi novel and you say, hey, can you write Star Trek? And see what they can do. All right, back to the chat. Alex says, Midnight's Edge are obsessed with witch hunts instead of trying to make positive change. Well, Midnight's Edge is part of the Fandom Menace. Hey, Salty Tracker, do you think Kurtzman and J.J. Abrams like each other's work in Trek? Don't know. I mean, I think J.J. is basically just put Trek behind him. I don't think he really cares. As for Kurtzman, I think he just sees it as honestly, I think Kurtzman just sees Trek as a checkbox on his resume. The characters on Lower Decks behave like cosplaying Star Trek fans, not Starfleet officers. Richie, I could not disagree more, and I'm so mad that my computer died when it did, because I actually had edited together a string of about 40 characters from Trek that would fit right in with, in fact, many of them worse than the people from Lower Decks, most of which Starfleet officers, many of which Starfleet captains, and they were worse than the people on Lower Decks. Everybody's sitting there going, oh, the Lower Decks people, they would never get by in Starfleet. Uh-huh. Sure they wouldn't. Let's take a look at some actual people from Starfleet. And so we look at characters like Bailey and Riley, and we just go through the list of all these people that fail, and we get into the Next Generation. We get to characters like Barclay and stuff, and we there's plenty of characters that are screw-ups, and there are plenty of characters that, I mean, Janeway had a freaking serial killer in her crew, okay? I'm sorry, but yeah, there are lots and lots and lots of screwed up characters in Star Trek, all right? And many of them, by the way, outranked Captain Kirk and company. So, yeah. Look at Galactic High Commissioner Ferris had no regard for Kirk's crew and was like, yeah, screw them. We're just leaving. By the way, my 5-year-old niece saw your stream once and asked about your facial hair. Why does he have fur on his chin and under his nose? And did you explain it to her? He said, well, some people are just freaks. So what did Matthew do? Well, I don't have permission from him to actually read the text he sent. If I get permission, I'll read it to you tomorrow night. But I'll just say he got me good. He did. I almost read it before I read the follow-up because I was about to freak out. Alex says, "Dear Salty Trigger, why do you mean to Neelix? Him love you long time." Super Blurpus says, "I don't know who ADF is. Take a look at this link. He also did an interview. His 1964 movie, The Time Travel, was very similar to some of TOS. Well, you could also look at, for example, Forbidden Planet is a lot like TOS. But TOS is not like, I mean, if you look at TOS, it's just a military ship in space. I mean, it's not like it's that crazy original. It's just in a different setting. But, you know, I don't know if he stole the idea from someone. I don't care at this point. I still love Star Trek, regardless of whether, and because look, it's the genetic fallacy is what we're talking about. The genetic fallacy, for those of you that don't know, is the logical argument that because of the source of the information, that somehow makes the information good or bad. If someone else came up with the idea, it doesn't change the quality of the show. It sucks for that guy. But, you know, and you know what? It happens all the frickin' time. It absolutely happens all the time. Where somebody comes up with an idea, he mentions it, someone else takes said idea, gets credit for it. Happens every day. It's happened to me. Where I made a suggestion at work, someone else does it, they get credit for it. Hey, guess what? That's called life. And if Gene Roddenberry did it, hey, you know what? He was an opportunist. And Richie says that I'm disrespecting the great bird of the galaxy. Darn right, I do not worship at the altar of the great bird. Salt Trigger, I've not seen the MCU since Spider-Man 3 with Tobey Maguire. Is that good now? Is it that I've not seen the MCU since Spider-Man 3 with Tobey Maguire? Well, first of all, Spider-Man 3 with Tobey Maguire is not the MCU. So, yeah, not sure what you're saying. If you're say, I did not like Iron Man 2 and stopped way too much stuff to catch up. Oh man, everything after you stopped at like the worst movie in the MCU. Just man, pick it up and go, buddy. You got 20 movies to watch and they're all good. You could probably skip over a couple of them. I mean, like basically, Captain Marvel's not the greatest. It's not horrible, but it's not the greatest. Death Dealer says, being both a brony and a Star Trek fan, I named one of my starships in Star Trek Online the USS Trixie Glimmer. I am not surprised by that. Star Trek continues fan films use TOS actors and writers. I thought the series was very good. Well, I don't. And in fact, I know a lot of people want to defend Star Trek Continues and other Star Trek fanfics. I'm sorry, I think fanfics are crap. And most of them are written poorly, and they're written as fanfics. They're written to say, oh, wouldn't it be great if? And so, and don't get me wrong, some are better than others. But, like, Star Trek Continues, is that the one where they had the doomsday machines that were wagging their tails and the ships were doing barrel rolls all over the place? I'm sorry, that's stupid. How would you write a mirror reverse episode of TNG? Honestly, I would have a that would be fun. I think a Mirrorverse episode of TNG could be a lot of fun, but I don't know. It would be the tricky part would be what would be the incident. I think that just simply having someone accidentally go to the mirror universe like you've done in other stories would just be kind of boring. And Lore Reloaded, thank
Fan
you.
films aren't good, okay, Boomer.
Sorry, Lore. I'm just being honest. I know you know, you go ahead and lie to yourself, buddy. You know, let me, yeah. Don't get me wrong. I don't hate them all, but I watched that one with the people going over to, you know, get the Excalibur, the ghost ship thing, and come on, you want to say that's good Trek? No. Sorry.
He who controls the space
And Alex, thank you so much.
What about a show that is not Starfleet centric? Maybe Jake Sisko being a reporter or about a detective on Reza. I got into Trek cause one wanted to live there. Why not expand it instead laterally?
I think that's a mistake. I think first of all, I think Strange New Worlds is the only way to go right now. I think the fact that we're doing a Trek show set on the Enterprise with a familiar captain doing, you know, seeking out strange new worlds, you know, meeting new life and new civilizations, the whole nine. That's the only way to go right now. That's what Star Trek is in its core, is space adventures. Jake Sisko is a fine character. I don't hate Jake Sisko, and I wouldn't mind revisiting Jake Sisko in a Picard era show. I certainly am not opposed to that, but I don't want a Jake-centric civilian show. You know what? We got a civilian show. It's called Picard, and it sucked. And if you want more of that, great, do a Jake show, because you're going to get more crap like you got in Picard, where people are going to log cabins and turning on the shields. I don't want that. I want shows on starships boldly going. I don't want crap where people are going to log cabins and turning on the shields. I really don't. And I'm sorry if I sound a little salty on that, but I'm going to get a little salty on that because I'm tired of crap. All right. But thank you, both of you, well, less to Laura, but I'm kidding. Thank you, Laura. I do appreciate it, buddy. And no, it has nothing to do with the fact that you are helping out the Avalon universe. And hey, you know what? I hope they do well with it. But at the same time, while the Avalon production, and this is the problem with these fan films, the ghost ship thing that I was talking about, it looks beautiful. It's written and acted like absolute garbage. And I'm pretty sure they know it. So I got to finish up, guys. So just so you know, no guarantees I'm getting to your chat if you're just putting it in now. Alex says here at Salty Jacker, recently saw The Crow for the first time. Pretty solid. What was your opinion of it? I liked the first Crow movie. Didn't like any of the sequels much. But yeah, I think it's really too bad that Brandon Lee died due to the accidental discharge from the prop gun. It's a pretty solid film, and actually they did some really amazing effects work for the day to digitally, and you may not notice this, but they digitally put his face on a stunt double's body in several scenes because of the fact that he died before the filming was done. Alex said, I think Star Trek 2009 should have had their own series instead of Discovery. I agree. I think Star Trek 2009 at least had the potential to be more optimistic. They just kind of abandoned it by the third film. Kronos liked Broccoli. Well, he wasn't. I'm not saying Broccoli was a bad character. I'm just saying that people that think that the Lower Decks characters would never make it in Starfleet forget about the fact that Star Trek is full of characters like that. And these are on the freaking Enterprise, which supposedly has the best of the best, right? You had on the Enterprise D, you had Broccoli, you had Gomez, you had other characters that throughout the 7-year run that were screw ups. Now that's on the Federation flagship. The best of the best had the occasional screw up. The Cerritos is like the Walmart of Starfleet, so you're not going to get anybody who's the best of the best because nobody wants to be on the Cerritos. So, yeah, everybody on the Cerritos is going to be below average. Would love to see Neil Blomkamp work for Trek. I wouldn't mind seeing that. Not going to happen. May the great bird of the galaxy poop on your head, says Richie. Well, he's dead, so probably not going to happen. Have you seen District 9? Yes, very well written, but not a Trek type vehicle, but very well done. MLP says Trek Continues showed us follow-ups to other TOS episodes. There was one episode where they showed us what happened to Mir Spock after he talked to her Kirk. I'm not saying that it was the Trek Continues was the worst of the fan films. It certainly wasn't. But if it's the one I'm thinking of, and again, I know there was so many of these fan films. Some of them, basically made their own little franchises out of it. I can't remember if it was Trek Continues or Phase 2 or whatever, but I think it was Trek Continues. Isn't that the one where they had the Enterprise basically doing barrel rolls and the Doomsday Machine swimming around like sperm in space and stuff? And that, when they started doing that, you lose me. That's not Star Trek. That's fans going, wouldn't it be cool if they had, starships flying around like jet fighters and with people that have no regard to what these things actually are? And so when they start doing that, it's crap. And I'm sorry, I'm going to call it crap because it is. Chrono says, long live the fighters. Yes, indeed. Too much sodium. Well, you shouldn't watch this channel if you're trying to keep your sodium intake down. Alex says, but DS9 is the best show and it was not Starship centric. DS9 though, and this is and very good point, but here's the counterpoint to that. DS9 was never alone on the airwaves. For the first part of its run, DS9 shared the airwaves with TNG. Then for the later part of its run, DS9 shared the airwaves with Voyager. So to get your Starship fix, you would watch TNG or you would watch Voyager. So you can't have, and right now, you don't have multiple shows on at the same time because production doesn't allow for it because these idiots think that, 5 episodes is a season now. So they need to, which is just ridiculously stupid, but yeah. No more budding corn pizza. You will get no argument from me on that. Donnie says, no apologies needed. Honestly, the scores and theme music are what I love about the current Trek shows. I know that's true about you, buddy. And let's see. Professor Brady Specs disagrees 100%. Of course you do. Alex says, would you like to see a District 9 sequel? Not really, honestly, because a District 9 sequel would have to be just like a big war movie.
This channel is like salt on a dill pickle.
It would end up. Thank you so much, Blubberpuss. I don't eat pickles, so I don't know whether that's a compliment or an insult. So, thanks, I guess. I'm not sure, but I think thanks. I think thanks. So I'll say I think thanks. But anyway, so a District 9 sequel, no, I don't want to see that at all because it would turn into a big war movie because the aliens would come back and say, why did you treat our people so bad? Pew, pew, pew. And, I don't care. John DeMarco says, the Doomsday Machine stuff was New Voyagers. Thank you. I wasn't sure. I appreciate it. But yeah, that kind of stuff, when they completely disregard the physics of it, is as bad as when they disregard the continuity or what people tend to think of as the canon. And Alex, thank you, puts $5 in. Boy, you guys are being really generous. That's like I'm supposed to stop, but I don't want to because you guys are being so generous. So I'm waiting for the Spice Guy. Spice Guy. Spice Guy.
He who
There you
controls the spice controls the universe.
I would have preferred Picard to be about a wine tasting contest with nostalgic talk. When DS9 was Oni did not need Voyager to get a starship fix.
Well, first of all, as far as the Picard being about a nostalgic talk and wine tasting, that probably would have been better than the crap we got. As far as when DS9 being on, you didn't need Voyager to get a starship fix. That may be true for you, but that's not true for everybody. And the idea, though, is that Trek at its core is exploring the universe. Having Deep Space Nine with companion shows was to hedge the bet of the big fear of Deep Space Nine was Star Trek is about exploring, and now we're stationary. So this was a way to kind of, do the old eat your cake and have it too, which, by the way, is the correct way to say that. It's not have your cake and eat it too. But I digress. So if you are to, excuse me, if you are fine without Voyager, which personally I didn't care for Voyager that much, so I didn't need to watch Voyager, but I usually watch it anyway just because, hey, it's Star Trek. But I like the tech on Voyager, even if I didn't care for some of the characters on Voyager. But but that just, you're also one of the nerds. You would watch, if they did, Star Trek, Star Trek SETI Alpha, and the entire thing was just Khan and his crew trying to survive, which, remember, they were talking about doing something like that as a series. You would watch it. However, you would watch it because you're a fan. What they need to get is not you. They need to get Joe Average interested in the show. And to get Joe Average interested in the show, they're not going to get that just based on the nostalgia of Trek. Trek doesn't have the built-in mega audience like Star Wars does. And Super Blubber Post throwing hearts at me. Thank you. Springtime says, we have evidence that Life with Matthew has not only been turned into a were-otter by Professor Brainy Specs, that they're planning on overthrowing Bird of Prey 5 and Bird Knows. Well, that's dangerous. I may have to go on a salt-free diet after these salty rants of yours. I apologize, Richie. I'll try to be less salty if I can. Alex says, dear Salty Trekker, have you seen Andromeda? No, I have not. I know I've had several people talk about it, but I've never seen it myself. All right, so there is where I do need to leave it because Mrs. Antrecker's been home for a little while now, and fortunately she's very nice, but I don't want to leave her waiting. But I do thank you, first of all, and also special thanks. Let me move this kind of out of the way. So special shout out to Super Blubberpuss and Mercer Create as I kind of try to get this up, and I just realized I'm looking at the delay, so I can't see it. There we go. So to you guys for getting, this is the speed editor. It did arrive. Kind of tricky for me to lift it, but that's okay. It does enable me, despite my current physical condition, to still be able to edit videos fairly well. So thank you both. It is going to make a huge difference. I used it to get the movie night with Matthew for tomorrow, mostly edited. I'm just waiting, hopefully, for Matthew to record a little bit of audio for it if he is able. I don't know if he's able, and I'm still not sure if he's going to. I hope he's able, but I've been pushing him all day about it. I think I got him a little mad at me. At any rate, So thank you both. I do truly appreciate it. And to the rest of you that have chipped in, I truly appreciate each and every one of you as well, because, you know, we literally could not pay the bills without you guys. And, you know, I will keep you guys posted as far as how things go, as far as the testing and the new treatments and whatever and all that. And yes, you can continue to bring up Blazing Saddles, Cronus. Once I'm able to focus and start doing reviews again, then you push me and push me and push me to do Blazing Saddles, because I know I owe it to you, buddy. All right, so with that, guys, live long and prosper. I will keep doing that as long as I'm able to. And take care of yourselves. Have a wonderful night, and I will see you tomorrow night on Mystery Movie Night with Matthew, assuming Matthew shows up. We'll see, because he is still kind of a